combine your balances into one simple low monthly payment. Now is your perfect opportunity to take control of your financial future. So what are you waiting for? When you want to consolidate debt and simplify your finances, Rocket can. Call 8338-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. Cost information and conditions. Take a housing lender license. Laws 50 states and laws. Consumer access. Not the call 800-490-1233 for disclosure. Cost information. You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Ranger team knows them by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead with Fidelity Income Planning. We'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and help you build a flexible plan for cash flow designed to last, so you can go from saving to living. Fidelity Workforce Services number NYSE SIPC.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 950 AM Traffic Center, this report sponsored by News Nation. Watching a crash here northbound Groesbeck Highway at Harrington in Clinton Township. The left lane is blocked. A crash here southbound Groesbeck at Frazo and Warren as well. Some new road work underway westbound 696 from DeQuinter to Southfield Road. A moving work crew in the two right lanes, and until about 2:30, a moving work crew in the right lane of northbound Van Dyke Freeway from 23 to 26 Mile. Also, southbound M39 at Michigan Avenue, right lane closure underway, and you are slow from Ford Road. If you're looking for real news, News Nation doesn't take sides or lean into political agendas. At News Nation, you get all sides. News Nation, news for all America. Go to newsnation.com/join us to find your television provider. I'm Tracy McCusker with the traffic.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jensen. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Ball up the middle, that's for Baez. Is between his legs in the center field. My goodness. Nice, big, knee-high bounce. He was moving to his left, and the ball went right through his legs. 6-0 Dodgers.
Great. Tigers lead 6-3. Mickey did it in 2-run homers first of the year. Candelaria hit a home run.
503rd of his career.
2 hours. 2 hours. They're like an error machine. Though it's hard to believe their team's actually worse. Fielding percentage 23.
That's what cost them too.
I know.
It's just at moments where you think if they just do the little things right, and they're a team that has to do all the little things right because they're not hitting like a team that can make up for fielding errors.
No.
14 strikeouts on Saturday for a win. 13 strikeouts yesterday, obviously in a loss. I mean, bat can't find ball.
No. It's bad. I mean, Meadows, Baez, they've been doing pretty well. Other than that, I mean, Cabrera occasionally. All right, talking about the Red Wings, who would you like to see replace Jeff Blashill? Number one. Number two, is Joel Quenneville, do you believe he deserves a second chance? And should he get a second chance? Is this the spot? 248-539-9797. Dan in Ann Arbor, what's going on, Dan?
Stoney, guys, what's going on? I want to get your take on a name that you might remember, Steve Ott.
Steve Ott.
I'm an assistant under Craig Berube, and I feel like maybe he's been in the NHL as an assistant for maybe 3-4 years. He was part of that 2019 Blues team that just went from worst to first.
He played here.
Whenever you see Craig Berube, they're side by side in every shot of the bench. So, with what I've been and done, he brought 2 Blues players over in Sabri and Subway who were part of that team that he was supposed to.
Right.
And I think and I know he liked him in Detroit this year before they traded him to the Canadians. So
Jim Montgomery, former Stars coach and current Blues bench coach. I loved him as a coach. Sucks his disease got in the way. He deserves a second chance. Joe, I'm not sure about I don't remember what his disease was. They need a younger coach. Well, that's why I had the 32-year-old head coach at the University of Denver. Hinch Quinville comparison is crap. A young kid getting hit on by an adult staffer compared to beating on a trash can. No second chances.
Say it was the same.
I know. No second chances for a lack of trust in running a young life. Quinville deserves and will get a second chance. He and Bowman were the scapegoats while the players in those Blackhawks teams were still allowed to play with no penalties to them. They knew what was going on as well. I have no problem with Coach Q leading the Wings. That's Bruce from Clarkston. It's about a point if it's true. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure some of the players were. Sheldon Kennedy was Eiserman's teammate, a guy whose life and career was derailed by an abusive coach. No way is Eiserman going to consider.
That's a great point that I knew about but didn't think about.
Yeah, Sheldon Kennedy.
Remember, I said I would not do this.
Right, the Graham James thing. It's just something to consider.
He hasn't been banned from the league, therefore it makes him a candidate.
Yeah,
look,
I just think there's other candidates
And he is
that
from Windsor.
fit the Wings better.
yeah.
And you could go Lambert, you could go Gruel. I mean, there's a number of them that I think would be really good fits for where the Wings are right now, especially with very young.
You know, you mentioned earlier the coach of the Swedish teams over there where Raymond played.
Ricard Gronborg.
Yeah. And they have Evanson's coming over here next year. I mean, so he's familiar with that.
Yes, and very well respected by a lot of the Swedish players.
See, I think they need somebody that has experience and knows how to win in this league. Because I think that's what this room needs. I don't think you mentioned him. I did the first time, Sony, but Claude Julien.
Claude Julien, yes.
I would support that in a heartbeat because he's going to find out on this team who can play. Because I think that's the biggest problem right now.
He did a great job with the Bruins. And, you know, he's had other teams as well.
And somebody who comes in and I'm sorry, there's nobody on this team that has clout. Okay? Where they have to be treated differently.
No.
Oh, no.
This is my, if I'm the coach, this is my room and I'm making it my room. And I'm going to find out who's in and who's out.
Well, you know who fits that mold, but I want to run him because they're not close to his Tortorella. I mean, it's his room.
Oh, I know, but I think he's too.
He's too extreme.
It's too far. That's why I think Julian's the better fit.
He's done a nice job. I'd have no problem if they hired Claude Julien. None whatsoever. Our telephone number 248-539-9797.
Okay, so we've heard that a lot of people turned to alcohol during the pandemic, and you may have heard that the pandemic actually fueled alcoholism overall across the country. But there's now a new category of people who depend on alcohol, and they're called gray area drinkers. Have you heard of that?
No.
I haven't either, but these are people who don't see themselves as alcoholics, but they're having trouble abstaining from alcohol. So they're like right on that verge of becoming alcoholics, like right on that teeter-totter point. And it's a very risky place to be, obviously, and unfortunately a lot of people are considered to be gray area drinkers. Here in Michigan, over 1.3 million people consider themselves gray area drinkers, and most of those people are between 25 to 34 years old, so very, very young. And there's some signs you can look out for. Maybe you know somebody, or maybe this is you and you don't realize it yet, because that's where it gets a little scary in this group, is that you just cross that line and you don't realize that you've just become completely dependent on alcohol, because you're right there. For women, if you're having more than one drink every day of the week, you could be considered high risk. For men, more than 2 drinks every day of the week. Also, if you're showing some commitment issues, you're skipping major responsibilities you need to take care of in your life, or your social activities revolve around drinking, this could be you.
Take a look.
Yeah, just look out for your friends or your buddies or your family members. So there's a new study that says the average man rates their mental health a 6 out of 10. And it also found that the average man actually feels down, not very good about themselves, 3 days a week. And the most common reasons that men are struggling are due to dealing with maybe some health conditions, a physical health condition. You're not eating very well, and you have to deal with a lot of pressure at work. And the problem with this is that a lot of guys don't want to open up about how they're feeling. And that's where the problem comes, is that you're struggling with some things. And there's other things too. Maybe you're dealing with a marriage that's falling apart, or some relationship issues, or, you're just not feeling great. And then they don't talk about it. So then you hold all those feelings inside. You don't know how to deal with them. So it's important to open up. Find somebody you're comfortable talking to, whether it's a buddy or your wife or a therapist or whoever it is, and get some of those feelings out, guys. It's important.
I totally agree with you.
It is, yes.
The way I eat, it's not the most healthy in the world, and I have a hard time dealing with it.
And your diet can also then affect how you're feeling. If you eat poorly, that can really affect your mental.
Did it say how much sleep plays a part in this?
Sleep was not in there, but I know sleep is very, very important.
Yeah, I know when I don't sleep a lot, but when I get even less than what I normally do, food decisions become very difficult decisions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's been studies. Your sleep correlates with how much you eat and when you eat and the food choices you make. Yeah, it all plays a part. Hey, listen to this. A Kobe Bryant rookie jersey is expected to sell for between $3 to $5 million at auction. So this is a jersey from the 96-97 season, and it's going to hit the auction block on May 18th. And like I said, it could bring a record for any basketball jersey. So last year, one of his rookie jerseys went for $3.6 million, and then also we might remember that one of his trading cards, a rookie trading card, sold for $1.8 million. So this is expected to sell for just as much or more than the previous jersey.
Wow.
It's crazy.
A lot of cabbage.
Wow, is right. Yep. So a woman's story about wasting thousands of dollars on vet bills is going viral. I feel like I've heard this before, but this is a new one. There's a woman on Reddit that is explaining that her dog kept farting. And it was like the most foul-smelling fart she's ever smelled. Worse than a typical dog fart, right? Like, just incredibly bad. So she decided, you know what? Maybe he's sick. I better take him to the vet. So she took him to the vet to see if something was wrong. And they kept running tests on this poor dog, and nothing came up. All the tests came back normal. The vet was stumped at what was going on. But then 5 weeks later, and thousands of dollars later, her husband finally confessed that it was him who was farting and blaming it on the dog. Like, how do you wait 5 weeks?
Well, because once you've gone down that road, you just
turning back.
keep on going.
I never blame it on the dog. I'm a proud farter.
Oh, no. But the real bad ones, you gotta blame on the dog.
Oh, yeah. I'll either blame it on, I've got a dog or 5 kids I can blame it on. And trust me, it's not coming back to me.
No, I'm not saying I'm blaming the dog, but now I've got to figure out, is it the baby or is it the dog fart? Which one's making this smell? Because it's sometimes awful. Anyway, she made her husband go to the doctor, and he had to get tested and also change his diet. So
Well, it's funny, when we have the whole family together and there's a fart and it's not me, I said, who farted? And one of them, whether it's Cindy, Jesse, or Marissa, whoever did it, it was me, Dad, and they start laughing because farts are funny.
Oh, yeah.
Farts
All
are
farts
funny.
are funny.
Yes, no matter if they're guy farts or female farts.
Oh, yes.
Or
yes.
dog farts.
And if somebody thinks it's not funny, it makes it even funnier.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, Heather. 248-539-9797. Brad Holmes will be with us tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Carson Anderson comes up at 10 o'clock, 97.1 The Ticket.
Hey, had some sun over the weekend, had some rain, and that means your grass is going to start greening up. Along with that, hey, dandelions come, crabgrass is there, and you want to make sure you treat for it now before it becomes a problem. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service is the company that can get it done. 888-GET-GREEN is their number, or you can reach them on the web at naturalwaylawn.com, because right now, for a limited time only, purchase a full lawn program. Along with it, you're going to get free grub control, free surface insect control, but you got to mention my name along with 97.1 The Ticket. I mentioned dandelions. They will rob your lawn of water and nutrients. Stop dandelions before they go to seed. Natural Way Lawn Tree Service, they're not going to give you a runaround. They're not going to treat for one issue and then when you have a problem tell you it's another. They're just going to take care of it and they're just going to fix the problem. It's a locally owned company for over 3 decades. Michigan owned, Michigan employees, Michigan families. That's Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. 888-GET-GREEN on the web at naturalwaylawn.com. Get green, stay green with Natural Way.
This week on Lesson on Golf, the beautiful Grand Traverse Resort and Spa with twosomes at the Bear. Right now, only $80 per person. That's only at lessonongolf.com. Lowest price anywhere. Lesson on Golf, Sunday, 8 a.m., 97.1 the ticket.
I'm Dr. Schmidt. As an intensive care unit physician, I wrote the first COVID-19 death certificate at my health system. And since the beginning of the pandemic, I have never taken care of a patient dying from the vaccine. Nearly all the patients in the ICU are unvaccinated. I see healthy young people making their last FaceTime call to their loved ones about to be put onto life support with a less than 50-50 chance of survival. And this is preventable. You will have to trust me in the intensive care unit. Please trust me now. I trust this vaccine. Mask, distance, above all, vaccinate. Boost. We will only find our way through this if we do it together.
Data shows the COVID vaccine is saving lives. Parents of children 5 years and older should make sure their kids are up to date on their COVID vaccine. And those over 12 years old who are vaccinated should get boosted now. Learn more at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Call Hall first to get started on your 5-star certified pre-approval right now. And we created the 5-star certified pre-approval with one goal in mind, to get your offer accepted. And we're available 7 days a week to do all the hard work for you. Before you even start looking for a new home, call Michigan's most trusted mortgage company, 866-CALL-HALL, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Hall Financial, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1467435.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. And Granger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you. With supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Grilling never smelled so good. Introducing new Kingsford Signature Flavors. Made with 100% real spices, Kingsford Signature Flavors flavor boosters can be added to any pre-lit charcoal or bought pre-mixed with Kingsford charcoal briquettes to add a whole new rich, full-bodied flavor and aroma.
Hello. Hey.
Hey, Mike, are you headed over to that temple right now?
Yes.
Okay, did Brian give you his contact info?
Yes, he did.
Alright, cool, man. Let me know how it goes.
Alright.
Yeah, we'll see.
See ya.
Alright, guys. Okay.
Lions?
His contact.
That you like the most, and the one that they're filled with that emotion, and also it just proves, two things about the quarterback position. Number one, they're satisfied with Jared Goff for at least one more year, maybe another. And the other thing is that nobody around the NFL liked the quarterbacks. It wasn't just the Lions thing. I mean, I was surprised that they didn't, when like Sam Howell was available in round 5 or something like that they wouldn't take a shot there, or even try to sign somebody like Carson Strong as an outside free agent. Maybe they did. He signed with another team. But
I do think that everybody learns from the history of quarterbacks, and if there's not a good quarterback prospect, now Pittsburgh obviously took Kenny Pickett, and they're going to see if they can make that work. Mitch Trubisky is there. They just, Ben Roethlisberger retired. They're looking for the next quarterback, and I thought he was the best of the bunch. I was pretty consistent with that. But other than that,
young talent, and there's a lot not only already here but on the horizon. Then I look at the players, obviously, and which Iserman's involved with. And I think the real key with this coach, and I don't put it at an age level necessarily, meaning physical age, is finding the right type of coach that is going to go from Iserman's thinking to the coaching thinking to the players thinking and mesh that all together with good chemistry for not only this upcoming year, but maybe the year after to really then be a competitive team.
Well, that's the way I'm sure all coaching hires work. You hope that the coach you hire.
I think it's imperative with the Wings because they have such a young team.
True. Any name in particular you'd like?
Believe it or not, I like Quenville. But the thing that I don't know yet, and this is where Mr. Iserman's got to get involved with this stuff, and I'm sure he already is, but he's got to distinguish. Say he puts a list out there of 6 guys, or 8, or whatever. Then I think when he talks to these people and relevant to a contract and what he's going to offer for them all, from him, his position as GM to coach, these are the kind of players, these are the ones that I'm bringing in to put that there. So, I throw out the name Quenville, but there may be others too that I don't know fit those parameters.
Let me ask you a question. You brought up Quenville. We talked about it earlier. I don't know if you were listening. Does the deal with this, suspension and all that, does that play into your mind at all?
Not really. It's similar to what you guys talked about with AJ Hinch. I mean, but that's a different sport, but it's kind of along parallel.
Well, it's way different.
Well, but again, I don't know what the allegations were. We'll get back to the hockey thing.
Okay.
But yes, as far as second chances, if that's a guy that I like, absolutely he deserves another chance.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. I can't go with the Hinch.
Analogy. The only reason why I brought that up is a second chance. It's a second chance, and it was, maybe it was too soon, or I don't know. But in terms of the violations, I mean, they were both put in whistleblower situations, right?
Yes.
However, blowing the whistle on cheating, and I think quote cheating, stealing signs, is a lot different than overlooking or not being a whistleblower when somebody makes a sexual abuse claim.
Well, and if we're going with those 2 examples right now, we heard from AJ Hinch about his involvement, about his regrets, about his, how it affected him, how it affected baseball. Correct me if I'm wrong, we really haven't heard much from Joe.
No. I just think it's just too soon, I think. But, if he's going to coach again, he needs too soon because of his age. But it's just I think the Red Wings will get crucified if they did this.
And it's publicity that they really don't need.
Right, exactly. Why bring this problem here?
I mean, the two biggest things off season or close to off season would be hiring, if they would do, hiring a guy who had an issue with overlooking sexual abuse and a Zamboni driver who urinated in a trough.
So far, yes.
It's
early into the offseason.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's what they...
That's why, I really want somebody experienced, and I think his credentials, outweigh Claude Julian's for sure, but you just go hire Julian to do this, to be the experienced guy. Don't go down that road where you're just creating a PR nightmare, potentially.
I'm still...
It's interesting to see where, just the pub in general, does he deserve a second chance at some point?
I think he does. But I think it's too soon.
I don't know. It's way too soon, first. And regarding the second chance, I don't know if his age is going to allow that.
True.
Honestly, if he's got to wait 2 or 3 more years, is somebody going to hire a 65-year-old, 66-year-old NHL coach?
Right. 248-539-9790. 97. I want to play this audio from Aaron Taylor. Aaron Taylor played football at Notre Dame. He played in the NFL for a little bit.
Yeah, he did for a while.
Yeah. He did a nice job on television for a while. He's sitting in his car, and he's kind of upset with what's going on with college football and with the NIL, the transfer portal, and Oklahoma. It is free agency. I don't think it's the way anybody thought this was going to be. And I have no problem with the kids getting money. But it seems, it's not even NIL. It's really pay to play. Is what it is. So here's Aaron Taylor just pleading.
It's time to move the fuck up. The buyers don't stay in buyers forever. They come, they move in, and almost always at the great ones of dominance. What's taking place right now behind the scenes in the NIL world is despicable. And it's dangerous and it's irresponsible. This ain't about the kids getting theirs. Student athletes have always deserved a bigger piece of the pie. This is about the adults in the room. It's always been about the adults in the room, which is how we got this sham notion of amateurism in the first damn place. This is about the institutions and the donor bases and the development departments and the extremely successful men and women that make up that population. But this win by any means necessary mentality is a poison. It's termites, and those termites are eroding the fabric and foundation of what makes this sport the greatest on the planet. There's an old saying that no matter how far down the wrong road you've gone, turn around. Unfortunately for us, I think the genie's out of the bottle, and we can't get this toothpaste back in the tube. But we can pull the damn car over, catch our breath, orient ourselves, and figure out a responsible way for everybody to win that is in the best interest of our sport. Because what we're doing now ain't. And we gotta figure that out.
As a former player, current broadcaster, do you agree with what he's had to say?
100%. It's not about the players making, or the student athletes, and let's just call them athletes, making money. And it doesn't matter the sport, basketball, football, baseball, swimming, diving. I don't care what it is. It's okay for these players and athletes to make money. They should. The problem is, and he said, he uses the term of the adults in the room. The problem is with the NCAA. The problem is with the member institutions that make up the NCAA.
Well, the NCAA is an organization basically throwing their hands away. We're not going to do it.
Right, but that's you can't just do that.
I know.
You can't just throw your hands up and say, there's nothing we can do about this. Is going the way that we didn't want it to go, so we're not going to do anything.
The Biletnikoff Award winner from the University of Pittsburgh.
Yep.
A day before you cannot enter the portal anymore, something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
To qualify for classes. Basically, comes out and says, or it's rumored that he wants to go to USC.
Mm-hmm. Where Lincoln Riley currently is.
Okay, but the kid's not in the portal yet.
Right.
So if this conversation has been taking place, it's tampering, isn't it?
Right. And so what should happen, you talk about the adults in the room, is this kid makes the call to USC or Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley says, have you entered the transfer portal? Kid says no. He says, I can't talk to you until you do. Thank you for calling. That's right. What should happen. Now, do we believe that's what happens? No. Or he doesn't call Lincoln Riley. He calls an assistant, or he calls somebody that's in these gigantic recruiting departments. Yes, or booster. Now, I've heard that. Now, that's completely different, right? Because, and that's where you get into all of this gray area, because they're not part of
the portal department.
Right.
These recruiting centers have portal departments.
Right, but again, if it's somebody that's associated with the university in regards to, I take a paycheck from the university, you can't take that call. If it is one of these, like we hear at Texas A&M's, right, one of these organizations that is set up to, hey, if you come to Texas A&M, if you come to USC, we can get you this amount of money. That's not the athletic department, right? And never has been, never will be. But the association, it's not It's not a far drive from point A to point B.
All right, 248-539-9797.
Hey, it's hockey playoff time, and BetRivers Sportsbook is your sports betting home from the moment the puck drops. They've got a special offer for all bettors, and it's going on throughout the entire NHL playoffs. Simply log in and place 3 same-game parlays of $10 or more in each of the 4 rounds, and you'll receive a free $10 bet at the end of each round. It's basically a betting hat trick. BetRivers same-game parlay feature lets you combine multiple plays from the same game into a single wager. So go give it a try during the NHL playoffs and see if you can hit big and also win a free $10 bet at the end of each round. And remember, when you bet with BetRivers, you're betting with an award-winning platform that puts fans first. Download the app or check out BetRivers.com and start betting with a winner. BetRivers Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Visit BetRivers.com for full terms and conditions. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 950 AM Traffic Center, this report sponsored by Bishop Airport. Watching a crash here in Clinton Township, blocking the left lane. That's along northbound Groesbeck Highway at Harrington. Aside from that, westbound 696 near I-75, moving work crew in the 2 right lanes. Traffic slower from after Mound Road. Southbound US 23 after M59. Watching a work crew in the area. Southbound 275 after 6 Mile. Double lanes open for long-term work here. New non-stop flights to Boston from Flint with Allegiant. Swap the chaos of larger airports for a stress-free travel experience at Flint Bishop Airport. Book your Boston trip today at Allegiant.com. An easy drive, more affordable, convenient parking, and minimal security wait times make Flint Bishop Airport not the only way to fly, just a better one. I'm Tracy McCaskill with the traffic.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply.
This Odyssey.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Jeff Glover and Associates.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Earlier, I picked Toronto and Boston in the East. Out West, I like Minnesota to eke past St. Louis in 7. Wild goalie Marc-Andre Fleury could be the difference maker in a crazy hit-filled, speed-burning series. And tonight's other lid lifter, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, should escape the first round against the surprising Kings in 5. I'm Boomer Esiason.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to find savings. But you may have more cash than you realize in your home's equity. Unlock.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Mike, are you all good now? Are you able to get in those measurements?
I haven't checked. I'm having to go meet this guy at this temple or whatever.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, when you, the next time you try, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Go to RocketMortgage.com to get started. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to RocketMortgage.com.
Call for cross information and conditions. Equal housing lender license from 50 states and a less consumer access. Call 800-490-1234.
You are?
Well, folks, it looks like spring has finally sprung. And with spring comes spring cleaning. So if you're getting tired of looking at that unused car in your driveway, now is the time to donate it to Mother Waddles and let us put it to good use. More people donate their car to Mother Waddles than to any other charity. And that's because everyone knows that Mother Waddles will use your car donation to help the poorest of the poor right here in our own backyard. And remember, with Mother Waddles, you can receive a same-day private party Blue Book value as a tax deduction for your car. So if it's time to donate your car, do what everyone else is doing and donate your car to Mother Waddles by calling 313-WADDLES. Mother Waddles is Detroit's oldest and most trusted car donation program. So go with the leader. Call Mother Waddles today at 313-WADDLES or donate your car online at motherwaddles.org. That's 313-WADDLES.
Hydro excavation with Pros Services is the safest way to dig even in frozen soil. Visit proservices.com or call 810-982-7271 to get started. Want a new career? Pros Services needs CDL drivers to drive and operate jetpacks, vacuum trucks, tankers, and roll-off trailers. Full-time union with excellent health benefits such as Blue Cross dental, and optical. Starting up to $28.10 per hour for drivers, $20.60 per hour for laborers. Visit prosservices.com. PROS services.com.
The NBA playoffs are heating up. Unlock every angle with coverage from the BetQL network. Find out which teams could cause an upset, get the latest injury updates, and find out where the money line is moving with daily coverage from a daily tip. Go deeper into each series with BetQL Daily, and you better you bet. And get live reactions to the biggest playoff moments with BetMGM tonight. Get started with the Odyssey app or find us on Twitch. Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone, is the official fitness partner of 97.1 The Ticket.
Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today.
Powered by Galling Auto Group. Experience the Galling difference at Galling.com.
Get the latest sports news and inside information about Michigan and Michigan State on the 5-Star Zone with Rico Beer. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
Couple of ticket texts here. I'm not old guy, but I agree with this guy, meaning Aaron Taylor, who heard the audio from. How do you go from players not being able to transfer or get paid to a total wild, wild west environment? That is amazing, the big league.
Well, and everybody talks about the trigger word or the key word that everybody says is guardrails. Well, there are no guardrails. There's been nobody that's put those in place. Every institution or every state has been left to their own devices of how do we make this good and reasonable for the athletes, but how do we also let our teams be very, very successful? I mean, that's what it comes down to. You've got to have the same rules for everyone. All right, and now that this is all out in the open, and it's okay for student athletes to make a profit off of their name, image, or likeness. That's all great. But how do we go about doing that? How do we make sure that what they're doing at USC and in the state of California is the same thing that they're doing in the state of Pennsylvania, or in the state of Florida, or the state of Texas, or the state of Michigan? Right now, it's all different. Right. All playing by different rules. And it's a shame because you have moments like this where an individual wins an award, has a great year at a school like Pitt. And it's don't get me wrong, it's a great school.
Oh, it's a really good school.
Yeah. And they are a good football program, but they're not a national powerhouse.
Correct.
Now all of a sudden, everybody thought, oh well, how do the group of five survive? How does the lesser of the Power Five survive if the richest programs are always getting the top players because they can just simply pay more, and they're going to poach all of those players from every other program?
Well, you look at the same thing in basketball too. It's incredible.
And the track record of enforcement is non-existent.
Right.
And even if it was against the rules to begin with, their track record of enforcement is despicable.
Well, their track record of enforcement years ago was awful as well. I mean, you look at LSU basketball, how long Will Wade was allowed to be there, the fact that Bill Self has not gotten into any trouble,
right?
And it's coincidental that he wins a national championship this year doing with a bunch of players that weren't like one and dones, but actually the right way type of thing.
Right, and he uses the term win at all costs. And that's what it has literally become, win at all costs. And that's honestly, that's the way it's been. But now that the sunlight is hitting all of this, it's becoming, now it's becoming unethical.
Yes,
it's just ridiculous.
All right, Carson Anderson are coming up next. The Gator is here in the studio. Doug will be here shortly. What's up, Scott? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Yeah, it's really good.
What do you think of the rest of the draft after we spoke to you on Friday?
Well,
I guess you didn't like it, huh?
I mean, yes and no. I think they certainly got some value picks, but I just scratched my head about a couple of things. And
we'll certainly get into that on the show. It starts with that pick at 46.
You wanted Dean.
I really wanted Nakobe.
So did
I badly wanted Nakobe Dean. And if not Nakobe Dean, I don't know, because
I wanted Brisker after once
well, that's the thing, is what happens when you make the trade is that it starts the dominoes falling in other ways that, okay, you better do this, okay, you better do, okay, you didn't. And then you start to go back. If you hadn't done that, then you could have done this, this, and this. But in the end, it comes down to they got two elite players in the draft. And I still approve of the draft. I thought that when all is said and done, you walk away with two, maybe the top 5 players in the draft. I can't pinch too much.
Right, and I think
there are things I would have rather seen, but
in watching, I watched a little video of Pascal. He's not a bad player at all. He's damn good.
There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with it except for the fact that they drafted that guy last year, and then they doubled down on the position last year, and then they're drafting defensive ends and another one. We'll get into that because that's a big one. That's a pick at 46 is a huge kind of bone of contention with us.
Did it raise any flags with you when everybody kept passing on Nakobe Dean that maybe there was something that we didn't know?
Well, I think what it came down to was that he's got a pec injury, right?
Yeah.
And we just drafted a guy who's got a torn ACL.
Actually, 2 guys.
Right, and another guy who missed the entire year. So if it's a pec injury that kept people away from him, which maybe it's not. I think there has to be more to it than that.
Yes.
But maybe there isn't. Maybe because we know what the draft's like, a simple injury and guys.
But he's supposed to be in minicamp and all that stuff.
I know. But minicamp, is he going to? He may be there. Is he actually going to participate with contact and all that stuff? I don't think they do that in minicamp right now, do they?
Also,
you're not supposed to unless you're Urban Meyer, but then you get sanctioned, and then you get fired, and then you just go down the wrong road for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You take Trayvon Walker, you get graded as you could go right down the list for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But no, you're not supposed to have contact. That's how this conversation started.
Real quick, grinding against some young co-ed in Columbus.
And I'm sure you guys will be talking about this. Do you have a leading candidate in your next Red Wings coach?
I do not. I was driving, I was listening to you guys talk about it, and they had the one caller mention Quenneville, and obviously there's the issues there. And it's funny because I saw that news come out on Saturday, and my immediate thought was, I'm just going to give it 3 days before I even think of it. Because it's right now, I don't know if there's an obvious candidate.
I don't think there is anybody obvious. I'm going for the long shot. 32-year-old kid coached Denver in a national championship and had 2 Frozen Fours. He coaches 3 Wings prospects.
Well, I mean, there's that. I'd like to maybe see him at Michigan State. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, that's where Blashill might go.
No, he's not going to college. He's going to go. Blash will end up coaching the AHL or back in the NHL, or he'll be an assistant in the NHL. He's, from what I read something recently, that said that he is. That's not.
He doesn't want to go back to recruiting.
Doesn't want to go back to college ranks.
All right, Champ and Chump as well. Yep. Carson Anderson next. See you tomorrow.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by National Benefit Plans. The Tigers finishing up on the West Coast with a whimper.
Austin Meadows swings and pops it up. Sir Alberto backpedals on the outfield grass, makes the catch. And the Dodgers take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, 6-3 would be the final score there. An error by Jeimer Candelario in the second inning, spiraling into a 4-0 Dodgers lead. And Detroit not able to catch up late. They did have Austin Meadows up the bat with 2 men on and down 3, but flied out to end the game. Miguel Cabrera hitting his 503rd home run of his career and first of the season. Robbie Grossman left the game early after being hit by a pitch on the hand. X-rays were negative. He's going to undergo further testing today. Tigers go 1-5 in that road trip and have lost 7 of their last 8. Here's A.J. Hinch about that.
Obviously, we gave him a little fight at the end. I thought we swung the bats pretty well early. Didn't get anything to show from it against Buehler, but we made him work. We got him out after 5. A couple of good swings that didn't go our way from a result standpoint, but
We are going to play the 27 outs. I'm proud of for that, and I'm encouraged by the better at bats today.
Well, day off today, they'll go against the Pirates for a 2-game mini-series beginning tomorrow at Comerica Park. Also, the Red Wings on the hunt for a new head coach for the first time since 2015 after Steve Yzerman announced that they would not be renewing Jeff Blashill. Detroit hockey ending the year 32-40-10, and they missed the playoffs for a 6th straight year. Also, golf fans in Detroit, they can snag their tickets to the Rocket Mortgage...